Welcome to London. Today we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. We're doing a London in a day tour through Viator. So we're going to be checking out Big Ben, Parliament Square, Westminster Abbey. I think we're going through Buckingham Palace, Crown Jewels in the Tower of London. So it's going to be a packed day. I can't wait to do it, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with us. Let's go check it out. Today is a huge day. This walking tour covers a lot of London. But luckily enough, the beginning starts at two of the locations. So we get to knock off Big Ben and Parliament Square first thing in the morning. Big Ben, or more appropriately, the Elizabeth Tower, is an icon in London in its own right. It is a gorgeous part of the London skyline. But it's connected to Parliament, which is another stunning work of architecture. Right outside of the Parliament, there's Parliament Square, where they have several statues, one of which is Winston Churchill overlooking the Parliament and making sure everything is pristine as possible. After hearing some really interesting facts about Big Ben and the Elizabeth Tower and the Parliament and the people that have statues surrounding Parliament Square, we are off to Westminster Abbey. Though there was no filming allowed on the inside of the Abbey, the interior is just as beautiful as the exterior. Throughout this tour, our tour guide was constantly giving us stories and telling us about the history of everything that we were looking at. This tour was incredible. We highly recommend come doing this. It really gives you insight as to the history of London and everything that this incredible city has went through. After learning some really awesome history here at Westminster Abbey, we are on our way to take a nice little 15-minute walk from Westminster Abbey through St. James's Park over to Buckingham Palace. Though this walk isn't considered a highlight of London, it is a really beautiful walk. You get to pass a lot of little pubs, small little alleyways, and of course walking through St. James's Park is breathtaking. That park is spectacular. If you're in the area, I highly suggest going through it. After the nice little 15-minute walk, we made it to Buckingham Palace. It's been a few hours since the beginning of our tour, so it was nice to take a break, stay in the shade, get some water, hear some incredible history about Buckingham Palace before we gear up for lunch and heading down the river to the Crown Jewels in the Tower of London. But now, we got a nice little 20-minute walk-ish to Trafalgar Square, which is where we're going to be having lunch today. It's going to be an awesome pub lunch. Get some traditional fish and chips and maybe a pint. And then after that, it's a nice little 15-minute walk all downhill down to the boat where we're going to get on and take a quick little jaunt down the Thames River to the Tower of London.
This side of the bridge, before we actually start the journey properly, I'll just tell you about a few things here once we get through the bridge. Don't normally come this side of the bridge, so on the right hand side here is the Houses of Parliament. To give the building its correct name, it is the Palace of Westminster. This end of the building, the famous clock tower known as Big Ben. Big Ben is only the bell that chimes the hours. The real name for the clock tower is the Queen Elizabeth II Tower. Now that bell, Big Ben, weighs 13.5 tonnes and has a distinctive ringtone. The Liberty Bell in America has exactly the same ringtone. And the reason for that is because the two bells were cast in the Whitechapel Bell Foundry in the East End of London. Now, if you look just below the first floor main windows around the building there, you can see there's a line that runs around the building. Look carefully in that line, you can see there is writing carved into the stonework. That writing is the Lord's Prayer in Latin and runs continually around the building. Opened in 1848, took 52 years to build. On the left hand side there's three
After taking that incredible boat ride down the Thames River, we have made it to the Tower of London. The Tower of London is just as incredible as you could possibly imagine. Everything is so pristine thanks to the beefeaters and all of the royal guards inside. It is truly a spectacle. This tour really showed us how much history and beauty this city holds. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to film inside where they keep the crown jewels just due to security purposes, but inside this tower is where they hold the crown jewels, and that is our final tick of this Viator trip. Overall, this tour has been spectacular. Thank you so much for Walks UK that hosted this tour. It was amazing. Everything that we did, we booked through Viator, and there'll be a link in the description for the Viator website. Our tour guide was amazing. It is a long day, so be prepared for that. It's roughly 8 hours, and it is mostly on your feet, so be forewarned about that. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out this small channel. There's new content to watch every single Sunday. We really appreciate all of our viewers. But with all that being said, don't forget to keep the Wanderlust alive, and we'll see you somewhere.